Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Factorio Town. So in the previous episode we were working on finishing off the northwest wall. We started it a very long time ago and basically abandoned work on it for a while because it was pretty much serving its purpose, but recently we've been having some major issues up in this area, and so I finally decided to finish it, and with this little bit of turret placement here, we complete the construction after a very long time. We've also managed to clear out the biters in the desert just behind the wall, but unfortunately they have managed to sneak their way around the lake to the south of us, and we need to clear out a couple more bases. And in fact, they're making use of what little time they have left by trying to attack one of my radar outposts that I've stuck out in the middle of the lake. I put some defenses up, but they're pretty meager, and the biters have easily broken through them. And so I quickly rush along to take out the base and need the biters before they can get to the actual radar outpost and cause even more trouble. So we burn the whole place to the ground in the usual fashion, and after it takes a little bit of work to clear away some of the worms. It's annoying because it used to be the case that you could just fire the flamethrower once, something would set on fire, and it was pretty much guaranteed to burn down. Now you actually have to put a bit of pressure on and keep flaming the thing until the fire is strong enough that it does burn the thing down, which makes more sense, but is also a shame because I like the previous thing of just being able to run in, set everything on fire, run away again, and still win. Now you actually have to put a bit of work in, and the balancing is a little bit better. There's one more base as well down here to clear out as well, and after a little bit of scanning about the place, I decide that it seems like the coast is clear. It seems like once this one is gone, we do have the entire west half of the county completely safe from biters, and now we just have the attacks coming from the northeast and the southeast to deal with. And of course, we do have to pay attention to that, particularly the ones in the southeast. They are good at sneaking around and trying to get into the southwest, but the northeast ones are very well dealt with because Redport and Frackham basically do all the defense, and the biters never think to go around them and try and attack anywhere else, unlike the ones from the south. I guess those ones are a little bit smarter, perhaps. Anyway, we hop over to Forton to grab some more ammo and try and make sure that the ammo production is going well. I do some rearranging of the belts to try and make things work a bit better because not all the furnaces were running. We want the iron supply from Ironwood to take priority, but we also want to make sure that the belt is as full as it can be at any one time, so I do some messing about to make it so that all the furnaces are given a sort of more even contribution to the belt, and I've also made sure the belt can actually unload continuously onto one side. I leave it at one side for now. The reason I'm loading it like that is so that if there is iron coming down from Ironwood, then it can't possibly get onto the belt from the furnaces, because I do want that priority. But later on I end up putting a splitter in just to merge the two because it's just easier and make sure that the belt is continuously full. We happen to pass by Radsmouth on our way to Redport and other places, and I spot that the supply of uranium isotopes is building up quite a bit, so I put in some steel chests to help store that. Also, we now are storing some uranium-235, the rarer kind, the reason being that we've run out of iron for the production of the fuel cells, and I decided just not to replenish it for the moment. We've got plenty of fuel cells built up. We'll let those supply the reactor for a long time to come, and the rest could be stored for the moment, ready for the Coverix enrichment process when we eventually get to that stage. So over in Redport, I sort out the ammo in all the turrets. The biters have been dealing quite a lot of damage to this place. I'm considering just making give us the maximum density of turrets just to help with that. But for the moment, I leave it because I don't think I have any turrets available, or indeed the materials to make very many of them at all. So not much I can do on that for the moment. We also grabbed some extra advanced circuits and also standard circuits, just because they happen to be here and we could do with a little bit more. And then we'll hop down to the main area for all the basic amenities, more gears, more iron, more copper. We used up plenty of all those, making extra turrets, making the belts and the burner inserters and so on and so forth for the defensive wall. And we want to restock ready to have loads more turrets available for any other defenses we might need to set up. And indeed, that is part of the plan for today. We are going to be putting some more turrets in places, but for the moment we hop over to Frackham to resupply on flamethrower fuel. We are running a little bit low on it at the moment, and unfortunately there isn't many waiting for us when we get to Frackham. The reason being that in 0.15 the recipe changed. I didn't notice this immediately, but you now need to use steel instead of iron to make the flamethrower fuel, and so we'll have to set up a furnace here to sort that out. I just have the one for the moment, which might not be enough. It's definitely going to be a very slow rate of production. Basically, I just set that up, and then I'll come back later and see how much has been produced and whether the one furnace is enough. If it's not, then I could build another one, or I could top things up by just dumping some steel from somewhere else into the chemical plant, just so that we can build up our supplies. And then we hop down to just south of Newton. And the reason is I'm going to be building a new junction. It's a little bit of a fiddly one. It's not one I'd made before. I'm looking around the county to work out if I have made any junction like this before, but this is a new one. And it's a little bit of an awkward one because of the way it's arranged. It's a wide junction, but it has one diagonal and then a horizontal and a vertical. And I've done wide junctions where it has like one horizontal and two diagonals, and it works very nicely there. But when you try and do it this way around, you can't quite get it right. It's impossible to make it symmetrical along the middle of the Y because of how the rails work. It has to be off by one square in either direction, which is a shame. It'll never quite look perfect. It'll always seem a little bit weird, but I do what I can. I set it up, and it will work well enough. It means that we have a bit of leeway in where we can put it, because we can choose to have it one square up or one square down. I don't think it really affects us very much. I think I'll put it one square down in the end, just to be slightly nearer where it's going, because of course we are going to be extending this out to the location of a new town, and we want that town to be built on a deposit. And it's going to be out in the east, as far east as any town has gone so far, and it is going to be focused on defense. It sort of has to be. Whether it wants to be or not, it's going to have to fight for its survival and be quite formidable. And I nearly got hit by a train there. That was an extremely close one. I jumped a bit when that happened, but luckily I was obeying the proper rules of working on rails, and I was staying off them rather than walking straight along them. I just didn't realise quite how close to them I'd got, and of course the train came along at exactly that moment just to remind me. So as we go over to the east, there are some bases directly in the way of where our rails are going to go, so we'll deal with those first, and then we won't have any trouble as we run the rails through. And we're basically sort of digging our way into the heart of biter territory. There was a time where this was an open space that we had claimed, but recently a lot of bases have advanced, and I don't know if we have the flamethrower fuel to deal with all of them right now. So basically I just decided to spearhead my way through this particular section of the landscape and set up shop there, and then work my way back once I've got some more supplies for dealing with the bases. As they establish the position, and once it's stable and it's defended, then we can be happy that that particular area is not going to get any more bases set up in it, and then we can go deal with the other ones. Now, we had an attack a moment ago down in the south. The wall that I set up last episode, it's not really a wall, it's a couple of guns. It's like 3 guns in a line in a particular gap in between 2 lakes that I spotted to try and stop the biters from crossing through that particular gap to set up more bases, and I think it has fallen. It falls at some point, either from that attack or from another one later in the episode. That wall does fall, and it's not really surprising. Again, it's not a wall, it's a couple of turrets, and there was nothing stopping the biters from running up and attacking it, really. It was sort of just, if anything, it was more of an alert system to tell me that the biters were going through that way, and the hope was that it would be able to deal with some attacks, but as it turns out, it was not enough. It's the behemoths. That's what's changed things. Once we got the flamethrowers, things suddenly got a lot better in terms of our ability to defend ourselves. I was able to push the biters back, have a lot more time to work on building towns. But then the behemoths came, and they're getting more and more numerous as time goes on, as more pollution happens, as I destroy more bases, and it's now absorbing all of our time again because they're doing so much damage. Whenever they attack places, I have to go out and deal with them. Otherwise, the turrets will die and walls will fall, and that wasn't the case back when it was just the big biters. Anyway, we've extended as far as we want to go now. There is an iron deposit here, and this is where we will be building our new town. There is also a small coal deposit nearby, which is what made me decide to set up in this particular area, because we require coal and iron primarily for what we're going to be building here. This will be not just a military town in terms of its position defending against biters, and also its future position as being the site, the sort of supply area for a wall. This will be where the southeast wall is built around, and I think we will be getting on with that fairly soon so we can finally have some peace and quiet again. But the purpose of this town will be to make various military components, miscellaneous combat stuff. And the main things we'll be making are gun turrets and grenades. Having a little bit of an issue here with setting up the signals. I don't get what is going on with that, but for some reason when you set up that particular arrangement of rails, it sometimes doesn't let you build the signal there, but only in certain orientations of the blueprint. And I don't know why. And then removing the curved rail lets you build it again, so it's a bit strange. But you can make it work and then set it up properly. But yes, this will be making gun turrets and grenades, and then it will be turning those, plus some ammo delivered from Forton, into military science packs, which will be getting delivered back to Flaskmere, and that's how we get on with the next step of research. Unfortunately, we've already got most of the military research done, because we did it before you needed military science packs, before the big science overhaul. But there are a couple of researches that need it, and it is important in a lot of future ones that also require other science packs. So as soon as we got this done, we're going to want to try and get on with getting the purple science as well. Otherwise, we're going to end up with no research to do again after a few seconds. At the moment, we are doing the final research, Mining Productivity 7, that only requires green, blue, and red. And beyond there, whatever we're doing, we will need more than those three. Unfortunately, I think only cannon damage and cannon shell damage and shooting speed are left that require those three plus military science. So we will want to get to purple pretty sharpish. Anyway, we had an attack, as you may have spotted, up in the northwest wall. The new section that I just set up at the start of this episode has been absolutely annihilated. The biters went through and apparently just systematically knocked out one turret after another. We lost something in the region of 6 of them, and that's really bad. And so we'll have to get up there pretty quick and deal with that, because they've just left a massive hole in our defences, and if any more biters turn up, they will just walk straight through and start setting up bases once again on the other side. So I guess we're going to need a little bit more in the way of defence over there than the turrets that I'd put there so far. Clearly the biters are quite intent on getting through that particular section and recolonising the land that I've taken from them. Anyway, I decided to deal with some of the biter bases down in the southeast. I've had enough of them constantly attacking Newton, and also Southbridge. Southbridge is the main one. It's getting annihilated. I haven't gone over and dealt with repairing the turrets yet. I'd rather deal with the root cause. I just burn down all the biter bases that are attacking it. And so that's what I do for now, and then maybe we'll go back later and actually sort out the defences over in Southbridge too. But there we go, those seem to be the two main offenders, though they may be the ones attacking Newton, so there is one more base we want to deal with as well. This one has been a particular pain for us recently, as well as sending attacks over to Southbridge, I assume. It has also been attacking, well, it is the base that attacked the wall over here. The 4 turrets, as it turns out, they easily destroyed it, and so we quickly go through, burn that down, and then hopefully they won't bother it again. There is another base a little bit further away that I probably should have gone and dealt with, because I think they are also interested in attacking this particular line. But what we're going to do is set up the line a lot stronger than previously, so that the biters actually have to work for it this time. Bring the car through before we close it up, and then we put in 7 turrets. They nicely fill the gap that is there. And we load them all with 50 ammo to make sure they don't run out or anything like that as they're being attacked. Also, a base did manage to get through. These guys really work fast. They set up another base just inside the line that we'd previously set up. So we burn that down again, and once again this particular south area is safe, and it should be a while before the biters have another opportunity to try and make a break for the southwest. Speaking of the southwest, we head over to Westpoint next to grab some more stone. We were going by the stone outpost anyway, so might as well dump some more into the chests here and grab what is there. We need more walls. We were setting up some basic defences over in the new military town, but we ran out of walls as the sort of first thing, as well as also getting low on turrets and ammo and just all of the things. We're struggling in all those areas right now a little bit. Of course, once that town is set up, it will fix our problem of having to manually make the turrets, and well, nothing will particularly fix the Fortin issue yet. I guess we'll just try and upgrade that more and get more ammo production going there. And also, once we have the walls set up and everything, we will overall, I think, use less ammo, sort of, maybe, possibly not. We may end up just using the same amount, but we can go and upgrade Fortin, and that will help the situation. Anyway, before we actually go to Forton, we need to go over to the wall and fix it up, because it is a mess. Multiple holes in it, lots of turrets missing, it's all pretty terrible. So I run through and start replacing all those, repairing them. It looks like the turrets did manage to stand. Like, ultimately the wall did its job, the biters did not get through. They could have, but they seem to have been hell-bent on destroying turrets, and so they were just moving from one to the next until they all died, and so none of them actually got past and carried on and started setting up any bases anywhere. So we double up the turrets there, and hopefully that will improve the situation a little bit. We'll see how it goes. And if we still need more defences, then we can double it up again. And the only reason I don't just start with having them all that dense is that the initial cost in terms of materials, and particularly in terms of ammo, would be catastrophic, and also it would be a waste in a lot of places, and also it takes forever to make the turrets, so I just space them out, and then if an area gets attacked, then I'll put some more materials into defending that particular spot. So yeah, the density of the turrets on the walls isn't great, but a lot of the walls will never be attacked, or they'll be attacked by the odd biter that happens to be passing by, or they'll get attacked once by a colonization force, and things like that. Anyway, I double up the ammo production. I realised I didn't have the ratios right. I mean, I don't think I'd been particularly trying to get the ratios, but it helps to do that. So we now have 2 assemblers making the basic ammo, and then 3 making the armor-piercing ammo, because the ratio is 1 to 3 in terms of the assemblers. I don't know if there's enough in the way of an iron supply. We'll see. We'll let it run, and we'll get back later and see if things are nicely built up or whether they've run down. Either way, it'll be roughly the same amount of ammo production, and I hope that it is more than we are using up. It doesn't feel like it right now, though. We've been using up a lot recently. A lot of turrets have been blowing up. A lot of attacks have been happening just everywhere. And I mean, we've also been, like, I've been setting up a lot of turrets myself, which is using up a lot of it. So hopefully that is why our ammo supplies have been running down, and it's not the case that our consumption is higher than our production. Anyway, back to the main area once again to grab more supplies. Making turrets really does burn through your supplies quickly. And then we hop over and grab some of the flamethrower ammo that's been made. Unfortunately, there wasn't much there, so I dumped a stack of steel into the chemical plant to hopefully boost the production a decent amount. And when we come back later, we'll actually have enough to be getting on with. We still have like 60 tanks as it is, which is enough to deal with quite a few bases. But I'd be more comfortable with having like a full stack and then maybe some more in my inventory too, as I usually do. So now we'll just be careful and not go too crazy when we're burning down the bases. So we get back to the military town over here to continue work on it. And of course, don't forget in the comments to come up with your name suggestions for it. I don't have any particular ideas for this one, so just whatever comes to mind, whatever words or word fragments relate to what this town will be doing. So yeah, it'll be making gun turrets, grenades, military science, and there's probably a few other things as well. I don't think it's going to be making destroyer drones. I think I'm going to have those in a separate town that will also make logistics bots, just because the logistics town will have nothing to do otherwise if I don't give it something else. So it'll be the drone town that'll make all the different kinds of drones, and that will possibly be our 4th military town up in the northeast. I've not fully decided on exactly how that's going to work yet. But yeah, gun turrets and grenades, and off the top of my head, nothing else comes to mind. Well, this will probably also be where we manufacture laser turrets finally, and you'll all be very, very happy to finally see those being used. I know it's driving you all slowly mad that I'm only using normal gun turrets, but I'm following a convoluted set of rules that I've never properly explained that make sense to me, and maybe one day when I finish the series or whatever, I'll actually write down some proper rules for it, and then I'll probably actually remove the rules that make the gun turrets thing such a pain, because they've made things such a pain. I could have been making the laser turrets this whole time, but the idea was that I wanted everything to be made in a town, not made by me, apart from the basic stuff that I had to make, such as gun turrets. Anyway, we improved the defenses so that this place won't immediately fall to the first biter attack. However, it is still quite vulnerable where it is. There's biters all around it, and so it could get attacked from any side, like Forgedale was until this came into the picture. Now that this is here, Forgedale will have a little bit of the pressure taken off, because they'll all be coming for this particular place instead. But yes, here's this little coal deposit that I found. Of course, you need coal to make the grenades, so that's why I set up in this particular spot, so we'd have a supply of coal for that. And also we can use it for the the belt feeding the gun line on the wall we'll be building, and also to supply trains that'll be coming through, because why not? We'll have plenty available, I should think. And of course, iron is the other components for grenades, and also a major component for the gun turrets. We will need some copper being delivered in from Forgedale, but Forgedale isn't very far away, so that shouldn't be too hard. I could even set up a new line going straight from Forgedale to this town, but I don't think I'll bother with that, because it's not that much longer of a journey as it is, and it's not like the Newton Junction area is a super congested place. But we are pretty much done for today. I get this set up and get the coal being delivered to roughly where I'm going to be setting up stuff. And yes, next episode we will determine what name I like most from the selection that you guys will give me. We'll set up the nameplate for it using up our precious stone. We should probably make a stone town next. But that is all we have time for today. And so I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.